Round 2, yes, we will keep this hand. Okay. So let's take the Minister. You know what's actually kind of cool about Minister with Select for Inspection is I can protect my Minister. I can use it and then bounce it in case of spicy removal. So that's kind of cool. Two white, no play, sure. So would I rather go for the mill right away or start attacking because I have Torch Gauntlet? It's a reasonable question. Ooh. Well, now I kind of want to attack. Although impeccable timing would get our Minister, would it not? Yes, it would. Well, you know, something I could do. Yeah, that works. I can attack with Minister and select if my opponent has impeccable timing, and this will also show if my opponent does have impeccable timing. So I think I'm actually going to do it. We'll attack into an impeccable timing because I have this select. And in fact, no worries. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll play Torch Gauntlet now. And like I said, the reason that I'm going for a Minister of Inquiry's beatdown at the moment is basically because it's still more realistic that we will kill our opponent from damage more than milling. Eager Construct is probably actually pretty fine here. So I could offer the trade of Minister for Foundry Screecher, which is reasonable. It protects us pretty good, and plus we want this Wonder to get past scot-free. So maybe I do just attack with Minister and then play Construct and pass. Okay. I'm actually going to do that. I know you guys are thinking, what? What are you, crazy? But I think there's a good chance my opponent plays an artifact next turn. I don't want to take 3 flying. Look, my opponent doesn't even want to deal with that. So now we play Construct. Next turn we can... Let's see here. Cobra. Do I want a Narnum Cobra? It is a spell. We have much better draws, though. I'm going to bottom the Cobra. I think we're going to go for our better cards. Like we have a Fabrication Module, we have a Bristling Hydra, we have Imperial Voyager, we have Cub, Riparian Tiger. Yeah, we have a lot of things we could draw that are significantly better. So I can use the Select for Inspection here. I think I likely am, to tell the truth, because it seems very likely that our opponent is going to play an artifact now to buff their Screecher and get in. So Select for Inspection is going to work quite well for us in that respect. I see. So I would select. So now I kind of want to equip the... Ooh, we got the Voyager. That's nice. Okay, we'll put the Voyager on top. It does have Trample, lest we forget. So... Okay, that's fine. So let's just play the land, play the Voyager here, and I guess now we can start milling. My opponent attacks with a Pillar Bug. I could just put the Voyager in front of it, but I actually don't think I'm going to. I don't want to deal with subtle... There's just a lot of things that would be a problem here. Sure. Okay. Prism Skiff Island. All right. So our 5th land for the Multiform Wonder. So I guess that means we'll just swing with Voyager and Construct. And now I can block the Pillar Bug with the Wonder because I can just buff up the toughness huge. They can use their tidy conclusion. Yes, okay. I don't think I have a way to protect that, right? No. Okay. They can't give their Pillar Bug lifelink now, which is nice. Okay. So I'm going to mill my opponent. So we're each going to be able to do a 4-point life swing. If my opponent has a subtle strike, they can kill the construct, though. I guess we are on the mill plan now. It's a bit of a precarious position for us. I could also swing for 5. My opponent can swing back. We take them to 13. We would go to 14, they'd go back to 15 with the lifelink. I could just equip the construct. My opponent has a subtle strike, though, which is pretty likely, or just any removal. They're going to be able to kill the construct and have a big Pillar Bug, which is going to be difficult to deal with. The puzzle knot's going to buy us a lot of time, though. Let's just, I guess, go on the Minister plan, the Minister Mill plan. So like I said, I think it was more likely we would win from damage, but the lifelink of the Pillar Bug is actually just sort of throwing off my math here. So I guess we can sandbag the island. We don't exactly need it at the moment. Okay. So we have our opponent on about a 6-turn clock with the Minister. I'm including the cards that they would draw. So it seems like they do, in fact, have the Subtle Strike, but I'm going to block. Well, maybe they don't. Okay, that's fine too. That is fine too. Freighter. Well, every deck needs a freighter, that's what I always say. Attune, well, not exactly what I'm looking for. Guess we'll get another green. We already have our red. So play the green, equip the gauntlet, and pass. I guess that puts it in Sky Whaler's shot range, doesn't it? Still. Okay, so let's mill in response here. So, reasons to not use Puzzle Knot would be Territorial Gorger, Fabrication Module, but not much else. So I think we will just use the 3 mana now. Okay, so we'll play a land and go. Looks like we'll definitely be bringing in our second appetite. We saw Freighter, we see Skiff, Cobra, things of that nature. So Cub is a fantastic draw. Let's play that, and we'll equip it with the Gauntlet. And pass. Okay. So we'll probably bring in the Takedown as well. It deals with the Harrier and the Screecher. Okay. So we have to take 3 here. Riparian Tiger is fine, so we can swing with the Cub and play a Tiger. That allows my opponent to smash back with Squad and Harrier, though, and our opponent is at 20. So this is going to be a difficult race to win. I don't really have anything that deals with the Harrier, though, do I? That's kind of the problem. I feel like I'm kind of just inevitably losing if I stay back. If I attack, I'm losing much more quickly. So I still feel as though we need to get the damage in. But like I said, if my opponent smashes for 7, it's just making me die quicker. But I just said that there is nothing in my deck that stops the Harrier. I do not have Select for Inspection. I do not have any more life gain. I don't have Voyager. Appetite doesn't protect me. Wonder is gone. So I have no means to deal with Harrier. But I could buy myself more turns? Does that even make sense? I guess it does. So I'll have to play the Tiger and pass here. So I could re-equip to the Tiger, but I kind of don't want my opponent to attack with the Malphus squad. I think it's better for them if they do, because Tiger seems like one of the few ways I could bring this back. And I guess I have to double block the squad, despite not wanting to. Okay, another flyer, but we'll bring in, like I said, the Appetite can deal with that. Okay. So if we can rip a creature here, we're actually okay. I mean, we're not great, but we're okay. It's a means to get some damage through. But we do sort of need to rip a creature. Filigree Familiar is a strong one. Okay. Okay, well, it looks like we lose now. So we'll just sit back and wait. See if our opponent plays any more spells. Seems like a very, very, very winnable match. So I'm hoping that our deck can do that in the next game here. But like I said, this is just a very winnable match for us. So I'm not very intimidated by what our opponent's doing. And I think we very much have the means to pull through here. So what, I can smash for 10? Still not enough. So we want the Appetite and Takedown. And I think that's it. Furious Reprisal doesn't really do that much, I guess. It kills the Malphus squad, which is nice. But I don't think we needed to win this, like I said. This is just so winnable looking that I'm not too concerned. I'm not seeing anything outrageously good from our opponent. In fact, I would say quite the opposite. We've seen a lack of impressive stuff from our opponent. Freighter is the best card that we've seen in our opponent's deck, so cannot stress enough that this is an incredibly winnable match for us. Let's bring in the Artisan, a Takedown, and another Appetite. And let's get rid of maybe some of our splash cool stuff that we're doing. So we'll get rid of Doorbuster and Artist, which means we can probably ditch a mountain for another island. And then we can cut... Could cut the Select. Kind of feeling Select. I don't want to cut another creature. Okay, we'll cut the Select. Yes, this hand is actually pretty good. Okay. Sage into Imperial Voyager. Not bad. Like I said, the old non-bow of Imperial Voyager and Gorger, unfortunately, but I still kind of wanted to see if it was cool, you know? Cool. So we'll play the Sage, which we don't mind trading for much of anything. Okay, so we are going to be attacking into that. Artisan. It's actually not bad, but we're still going to play the Voyager, so we'll swing for 2. Play the Voyager. And pass. And next turn we can get the Gauntlet on our Voyager and generate large quantities of energy. Too bad Voyager does not have First Strike, or we have a means to give First Strike, because then it would actually work just fine. With the Gorger, I mean. Freighter. I've heard that card's good. I've heard it somewhere. I read that somewhere. So we take copious amounts of damage. Let's see here. All right, I guess. Play the Gauntlet. Equip. Let's swing for 6. It's going to be a tough race. All right. It's very good for my opponent, very bad for me. Well, I guess that's kind of good, actually. Multiform. Well, that was a good rip. So, yeah, we kind of need the wonder now. So we basically just hope our opponent doesn't have the tidy conclusion. Yeah, I guess so. So we'll swing with the Sage and play the wonder and pass. The Sage does not do as much good staying back. I mean, it would allow me to double block the Bruiser. Maybe I should have considered that. But it only would have allowed me to do that if my opponent doesn't have removal for the wonder. Okay. Okay, no problemo. We can actually still block the freighter and keep our wonder alive, and it only costs us 2 energy. Not a very steep cost. Yeah, this is actually fine. And now we don't have to give our wonder flying either. This is quite nice. So we block the freighter. And we go -2/+2 twice. Take 3. And we're going to bash our opponent for a lot here and gain a lot of life. So very good for us. So we equip the wonder. We give vigilance and lifelink. I guess we can just give vigilance for now. This plays around select for inspection too, which is quite nice. And then we swing with the Sage and the wonder. Give lifelink. And buff. So we get for 9, taking our opponent to 1. Play the Artisan, make a servo, and pass. Just trying to get a lot of bodies out there for now. Next turn, our opponent is dead from the wonder, but we'll see what they do. Okay, they did in fact have a tidy conclusion, and they're going to gain a boatload of life, so we're kind of back to being in a lot of trouble, unfortunately. But I guess we do have a Torch Gauntlet. So it looks like we take 5 here because Trample is a thing. All right, play the Prism. Okay, a bit of an unfortunate draw there. So we can play the Gorger, but so let's see. Our opponent plays a creature 5, 8, 9, 10. So they can't kill us even if they play a creature next turn. So I guess it might make more sense to equip the Gauntlet on the Artisan, swing with our 3 dudes, They trade the Sage off for the Servo. I mean, another thing I can do is equip the Gauntlet on the Sage. I mean, we're a bit ahead on the race, so I would only deal 2 to them, though. It's not a clock that's good enough. That's the problem. Their clock is still better. So I guess it might make more sense to... Maybe it does actually make more sense to play the Gorger. Yeah, it does. Because I have the Gauntlet and I have a lot of things that generate energy. Okay, so we're going to play Gorger. Okay, Padim. And a Glint Sleeve Artisan. So our opponent's out of cards, but they have a much, much more developed board state than we do. So I guess I am in kind of a world of trouble now. I have to be smart about this, and I'm not sure that I can. They're still going to be drawing cards off Padim every turn, so might be... Let me do the math on this. Let's say that I draw something that generates energy and I equip this, so this becomes 6. If I attack with these 3, it's still not good enough, is it? Okay, here's how we're going to block. We're going to block with the Artisan and Servo on the Bruiser, so that we only take 5. Okay. All right, this is actually fine. Usually I pretty strictly play 16 land decks. And like I said, I actually think I pretty easily could have gotten away with 16 lands in this deck. I know it's kind of a hindsight is 2020, but I feel as though, even though it's not statistically significant, it's still enough in my mind where I would rather just run the risk of getting mana screwed at 16 than run 17 and get flooded. So, I guess the question is, am I dead? I think I am, right? I'm going to take 4 trample from that if I equip this. Block there, I still take too much. So it looks like we are just dead, sadly. I could have forced a block if I had any sort of energy. But let's just equip the Gorger and pass and hope that our opponent plays around something. So it looks like we are, in fact, dead here. Oh, just swinging there? Okay. Well, in that case, I'm just going to block with the Artisan. I mean, do I trade off? Maybe I have to. Okay. Yeah, because even if I get energy now, I can't kill my opponent. And they're still drawing cards. And I do have to stop the freighter. Okay, I guess we have to. So, I could have equipped the Sage, I guess, but maybe my opponent didn't. I guess my opponent didn't realize they could kill me, so I should have just equipped differently. Let's see here. Filigree Familiar, okay. Okay, fabrication module, but I think that we're dead. Okay, well, play the module. Yeah, we're dead. All right. We will see you in the finals, my friends.